Welcome back to K-Ratio's Week in Preview. I'm Kyle Littner and I'm here today to provide actionable insight for the future, not recap the past. In this week's episode, we'll cover something we hinted at last week, and that premonition has come true. Imported volumes to the U.S. West Coast have begun to make their way throughout the country, and it's the stops along that way that will feel the impact next. Well, first, let's take a look at where we sit nationally. National over-the-road volumes remain severely depressed, but that tiny little pop on the right side of the screen is our previously mentioned imports. A little bump did nothing to slow plummeting rejections as capacity everywhere is beyond abundant. And this has resulted in national cancellations dropping to their lowest level since the dog days of last summer in August 2019. This small pickup in business was originally localized to the LA market, but it's now begun to work its way throughout the domestic supply chain. And a lot of this freight goes via rail to major inland hubs like LA to Dallas, and that's where we find ourselves this week. As you can see on the right side of the screen, both Chicago and Dallas saw small increases to outbound volume late last week. This trend will continue for this week, and that's good news for carriers in both areas as the volume is badly needed. An additional positive from this pickup in volume is that some of this business will go spot as it is unplanned, and routing guides everywhere are still turned upside down from production halts and shortfalls. We can easily see this with a head halt chart that measures the difference between outbound and inbound volume. Both Chicago and Dallas see spikes in the metric at the end of last week, setting the stage for a short-term lack of available capacity in those markets for this week. And couple that with the volume pickup, and we now have newfound spot business opportunities. That's the good news for carriers and brokers. The bad news is just because this new business is spot doesn't mean that it has higher rates attached to it. As with any market, when we rebalance between supply and demand, that just means we reprice the market. It's just a new opportunity, and that price can be either higher or lower. Shippers can play the repricing game just as well as carriers and brokers, and that's how we find ourselves with the lowest national long-haul spot rate since February 2017. The available supply of trucks outweighs our current level of freight demand, leading to heavy downward pressure on rates. So this week you can expect more business to do in places like Chicago and Dallas, but don't expect to be paid a king's ransom for it. Remember, carriers, right now the job is just to keep the wheels moving, and brokers, the job is just to keep the phones ringing. We just want to get past these difficult, strange times. But one quick note for shippers. Obviously right now you're enjoying low cancellations and even lower rates, but this is the perfect opportunity to reach out to trusted providers to make sure those relationships remain solid. You could run a load through spot right now and it'll end up being cheaper than contract, but that doesn't mean that your provider won't take the load at that spot rate. Getting rates on file allows your providers to act like true partners, and then makes it better for all of us in the long run. Again, a big thank you to everyone who continues to participate in our open and ongoing Q&A. If you keep submitting the questions, we promise to keep answering them. So leave them in the comments below, send them to info@k-ratio.com, or you can message me directly. And for more information on our award-winning freight intelligence platform, improving your margins, or dynamic pricing even in this extreme environment, check us out at k-ratio.com. Please stay safe, and thank you again for watching.